Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another 10-minute investor eye test with your friends at Arcanum Ventures. This is Mello and Sasha checking in, and today we're going to be covering Almanak, the Web3 platform, an agentic swarm that helps you build institutional-grade code-based strategies for building and deploying financial strategies. Well, that was a mouthful. Hey, Sasha, how's it going today? Do you know anything about Almanak?
Good, it's going good. And yeah, I know a little bit. We covered Almanac in our three upcoming token launches video. And from what I understand, it's a vibe coding platform that lets you vibe code AI agents for trading. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I haven't seen like a use case for vibe coding or a platform like this before, so maybe there's some demand behind it. But I've heard this name like a few times in the past week.
Yeah, for sure. And we did a great vibe coding space last week. I was not aware of this one, but it would have been a great guest to have on, a great company to have on for it. But yeah, we're seeing more and more of these agentic financial, specifically within the like confines of the financial space, like deploying strategies for DeFi and trading. And I have my concerns about that, especially if everybody uses these. Is there not a PvP element to this at play? How
Yeah.
can everybody make money at the same time? Will these strategies become less effective, for example, if everybody uses them? But I guess it's still novel. It's still very early. I don't know many competitors this has, so I would be keen to check that out too after filming this video. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it. And obviously, for those who haven't joined us before, we're not just looking at the company deep diving for an hour. We're just taking 10 short minutes, specifically looking through the lens of the token or the digital asset economy, because us as investors and token economics designers, that's what we're keenly interested in. So we want to see if this token, we imagine there's a token, they're having an ICO. So we want to see if it makes sense, how it plugs into the economy. Does it make sense for every stakeholder or user, anybody that might be deploying one of these agents or multitude of them? So that's what our focus will be today. Stick around to the end of the video after the 10 minutes. And Sasha and myself, we will give our verdict and what we think about it.
All right. And then yeah, ready to start when you are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, diving right in. 10 short minutes on Almanac, starting right. Meow, boom. And I've got crypto rank up here. And as we can see, there's an ICO ended recently, I guess like several days ago. But funds and backers, I already see some big logos here. So we've got HashKey, it's a big one. Shima as well, even Bankless. And then Delphi Labs. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Must be a lot going on here.
Yeah, again, weird ranking, weird tiers for this. I would probably have this definitely rearranged, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think also it says they've raised 8.45 million. I don't know how accurate that is. We can never be 100% sure, so it's a good point is to check your sources and get backup options too, because especially with funding, it's a little bit tricky to see who's invested what. This information is not often totally transparent or public, and I think I saw on a different site that Legion's still doing their ICO. I think it's from the 21st to the 28th. So this says it's just a 2-day ICO, which is fairly atypical. Usually these ICOs, one thing that is common with them is that they traverse an entire week instead of a day or 2 days. But I think that's just something I saw. So again, I'm not sure. We'd have to check another source.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it does say 8.5 million in this undisclosed round.
Hmm.
Um, two ICOs on Legion. Again, this is user reported information. I think sometimes company reported, so we can't trust this for sure. But apparently they were trying to raise 2.5 or 3 million
Hmm.
across Legion, bringing the total up to 11.5 million. And they're pursuing a fully diluted valuation of the token supply at $90 million. And putting that in context, 90 million is a lot for something nowadays that's not a blockchain network.
Yeah.
And so I know Almanac, they're allowing vibe coding of AI agents for trading. Yeah, I have no idea if that fully diluted valuation is appropriate, but I guess we're going to find out, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's always I think it has to be one of our main questions these days is this a blockchain or is it intending to be a blockchain at some point? Which you always have to ask yourself, especially if you see a higher valuation. I think it's more common for companies to launch their own chain now than it was maybe 1 or 2 years ago. And we
Mm,
see also here that Near Foundation is supposedly investing or incubating it, which
yeah.
leads to the question: is this launching on Near, or why would they be making an undisclosed investment or incubation of this. Oh,
What
well,
it says they're depositing tokens on Arbitrum, so I guess they're launching initially on Arbitrum, which is
no,
strange.
I think that's just the legions on the Arbitrum guardrails. So
Yeah.
maybe they deposit their funds there and then they
Oh,
receive
yeah.
them in their near wallet. But I don't know. We'll have to dig into it and see where it's actually launching. Um, yeah,
Let's go
I
ahead
don't
and
know.
dive into the website then, see what we got. So, like I mentioned before, vibe code like a quant without the hassle of writing code. The agentic swarm that builds institutional grade code based strategies for you. And so, like, there's probably a need for this. A lot of people, I think, they've been using all sorts of trading insights and tools for many, many, many years. But it's, it goes back to what you said. I completely agree with you. If everyone's using an AI agent to trade, then it's like battle of the bots. I don't know who's going to win. And does that like wipe out all profitability from the market?
Yeah, especially if everybody's getting institutional yield, does that not devalue institutional yield or the words institutional yield? Like, what is that? If everything's institutional grade, then nobody is. Everybody's on a level playing field, which in theory sounds great, but it also means nobody can reliably or consistently make money.
Well, I mean, one of the key things to note here is that they're building infrastructure to automate trading. I'm seeing this word autonomous a lot, and so you have agents that are trading for you, probably based on indicators and signals that you probably set up. There's
Yep.
hedging strategies, which probably operates in the same way and to maximize yield. And yeah, universal chain access. So there's a lot of logos here as far as blockchains. So I guess, you could trade assets on any of these major chains, which is pretty cool. It's a
Yeah, a lot
big
of
feat.
platforms there too, like PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Aave. It's interesting. Uh, yeah, another thing that is on my mind, maybe it's more apt to do it after the video or after the 10 minutes, but I don't trust people with like simple tools like leverage. It's even weirder if you give everybody like automation tools. It's like you got to build that on a foundation of understanding, not just guessing. But I guess that's crypto. Everybody wants to out sophisticate each other, use tools that they don't understand just to flex on others. Maybe this is
Well,
perfect.
it's funny, like, sometimes you have to play devil's advocate and put yourself into the shoes of someone on the opposite end of that trade. And let's
Hmm.
be honest, like a lot of these VCs, you would not consider them retail, and their exit opportunities likely stem from retail investment capital. And
Yeah.
so, like, playing that devil's advocate, it looks like maybe Almanac is developing automation tools for everyday investors or traders to fail faster with less oversight. so so that's not like a great look, but again, yeah, like people have to do their own due diligence and they have to be smart about the way they trade. If they're trading with like massive leverage and they're approaching that trade in from an uneducated and uninformed perspective, and then they're like automating portions of it, then
Hmm.
yeah, like they're probably going to lose a lot of money, and they're going to lose it to people that are most likely backing companies like this.
Yeah, for sure. And you and I have touched on this in the past before. Anytime there's an AI token generation or anything AI compute related, there is a cost associated with using these products that doesn't necessarily go to the team that's built it. It's just a cost of doing business, like an OpEx for this. So you do need to factor in that anytime you use one of these tools, but you also have to think, how would you monetize this? If this was your company, how would you extract or get a fee from this? You can't just be success based because a lot of people are going to lose money on this. If you have a pump fund type platform, you make money no matter what. Anytime somebody launches something, anytime somebody trades something, you make your money. This, I'm not so sure. How do you? If I create an agent, perhaps, and somebody uses it, the more people that download it, the more money that I make, the more money that Almanac makes. That makes sense to me, but I'm not sure that's what they're going for.
Yeah, not sure. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could fit a business model into this. It can be volume based from transactions. There's an issue that we've seen in the past with exchanges, for example, that offered massive leverage to users, and then they like their marketing tactics included that feature like, hey, you can earn 100x with our 100x leverage or whatever. and their business model depended on these users getting liquidated or at least benefit from it. And so there's a huge conflict of interest there. And then you're diving into like unethical behavior. So I hope that's not what we're seeing here. There's a couple of links, nothing so far in the token, but there's a token economy link. So I want to dive into that and see what this really is. And so it looks like a 14-page, more technical document talking about, yeah.
That's great. Like we haven't seen any any token economy information in the last several videos, so it's very refreshing. Even if it looks a little bit more, I don't think it's that sophisticated. It's just the actual layout and the formatting looks a little bit academic, but it's very simplistic actually.
This is true. Like we've written papers like this before, and with more styling and stuff. I see here that I guess the vision that they're pursuing with the token is lowering the entry barrier and decreasing time of deployment for financial strategies. And so let's see, maybe we could find some specific things around like the token use cases. Okay, we've got like access models, um, setup strategies. They're
BitTensor
using it.
inspired growth model. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So let's see, two core groups of users that stimulate the growth of Almanac's ecosystem are strategies and vault curators and liquidity providers. But again, nothing on the token so far. This more so goes into like business model and how you can use the platform to generate profits, I believe.
Hmm.
And
Curve Finance inspired too, so they're actually citing their
growth management model.
inspiration. Maybe they're competitors, but maybe inspiration for the company.
And I think this is all protocol level, right? Like this is how the kind of business model again, and like the digital asset economy might be set up. Like how who get paid, who's getting paid out, who's providing liquidity for this network or this protocol to be, let's say, cross network.
Oh, right there. This has two potential fees streams could be applied to the ecosystem. I love how they say could to protect themselves, but taxing the vaults, vault owners or curators can turn on management and performance fees, and Almanac DAO could potentially charge a percentage fee from this fee. Introduction of such a fee would be up to the vote of the future Almanac DAO. And computing power margin. Whenever a user pays for computer power to use Almanac Agentic Swarm, a 1 to 10% margin would be added to the cost of the cloud computation. So we did speak about number two already, and number one has alluded already to a governance structure. Same with its flow chart. We see V Almanac, which is a different, maybe wrapped Almanac token that's going into the governance. So we know that they're going to slowly at least transition this over into decentralization or community-owned governance or stay or sake in the platform.
That is interesting because I don't think anything's been mentioned around decentralized governance yet, but this is a pretty interesting flow chart. It shows that users are paying fees. And there's two different streams that you mentioned. There's a fee split, and some of it goes to the company's treasury, and then some goes to emissions that go back to users. I'm assuming through some sort of rewards program. And then both of those pools are also replenished by governance proceedings. Mm-hmm. So they have staking, they've got governance. This is interesting. So I know we're cheating now. We're taking a little bit extra time, but just showcasing like the token utility more. Staking gets you a discount on computing power, and you also get this voting escrow token, and you could use it for governance directly. It looks like those are the two main use cases, besides maybe like giving tokens out for awards that we saw in that flow chart.
Yeah. So DAO ownership, true DAO ownership is hypothetically one of the biggest reasons to hold this token and own it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. We don't see a token economy white paper very much nowadays. But yeah, that's our 10, maybe 11 minutes in the bag. And before we dive into verdicts, I'd like to remind everyone, if you're enjoying this content, make sure you tap that like button or smack that like button, whatever people are saying nowadays, and throw us a follow. We got more fun eye tests coming and some very interesting Boom Room interviews coming. And Mello, do you want to start, or do you want me to dive in on the verdict?
Sure, I'll be short and sweet and to the point today. I like what I see, to be honest with you. I would say thumb up. It's not usually my thing that I'm into. I don't love trading bots. I don't like automated financial strategies usually. I don't like attaching AI agentic layers to everything. But it does make sense to do so sometimes. I think one of the refreshing points I wanted to bring up that we don't often mention or talk about is it's very nice to see a really elegant, simple token economy paper. We never see that. We see maybe some academic white papers about the actual tech, which is good. You need that. But I think we've normalized not needing this information or not wanting it or not expecting it. So we see a lot of lazy Git books with some very, ChatGPT output looking answers and maybe a glossary, nothing very useful. Maybe some pie charts like you and I always joke about, but this actually had the whole gambit, and it looks like something that we do create for our clients and portfolio companies when asked to do so. And we had nothing to do with this, just to be clear. We're not working with Almanac, but I can see just in 10 minutes that they're in good hands and they've put enough thought into these flowcharts and token utilities where I'm comfortable to look into it more. You know what I mean? Like, I think I trust that they're on the right track, even if they're not there, they haven't arrived yet. That's remains to be seen, but I do trust that they're in good hands. They've put a lot of thought to this. It's not just a cash grab token launch. So it's just strictly speaking from the token utility. I'm impressed that they actually put some thought into this and all that. I still don't know anything about the team. I don't know anybody working with him. I don't know what chain they're launching on. I don't know how successful or if they have any case studies that they've managed to do. Like the team, I would guess, would have built some tools already to show off like case studies and videos. Like, look at what you're capable of. Look at what yield we've managed to get, or look at these trades we've executed. Look at these strategies we've made. So they've got to showcase that more prominently if they're gonna reliably get users on board. Because like that's what I would want to see if I was a financial DeFi person looking to look for the best yield opportunities right now. So overall, I think thumbs up. It looks cool. I would like to learn more about it. I'm not saying I would invest in it, obviously, but yeah, kudos to the team for actually having like the right information, easy and readily available.
Nice take. Okay, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna go in maybe a slightly different direction. So yes, the digital asset or token economy white paper I think is really good, and it gives a great idea and like a very, very nice format, and like what this system does and how the ecosystem works and like how people make trades and where liquidity is provided from and all that stuff. I think maybe there's some high level things that are kind of being overlooked. Like number one, just like you said before, this is like very product and consumer focused. And so we haven't seen a whole lot around like community activity, which is a huge green flag if you're considering investing in something like this. What are people doing with the tools right now? Are the tools live? Can you use them? And going back to what you said, this is like proof of concept, show me traction. Because that leads into number two. Like in my opinion, right now, based on what they've communicated, the token does not need to exist. This is not like a network that needs like a token for consensus or anything. And the fact that the token is used for maybe rewards, like trading rewards or whatever, and then discount models, like these are two use cases, like I said, that don't need to exist right now. And the only other thing that really is critical here is governance. And so when you're talking about governance, you need to show community metrics and traction to give us an idea of like who's going to govern things. And then you have to be specific about what are they going to govern here. So from my perspective, it looks like maybe they're launching a token when they don't really need to, and there's not a lot of specifics about what they're going to use that token for. Obviously, they fit it in probably in a decent way, like with a discount model and then rewards emissions, and you're helping lower that barrier of entry, like they mentioned, and promote that user journey. But yeah, from a digital asset perspective, I don't think I would invest in it considering what we've seen so far. The backers are impressive. I doubt that they invested in the token side. Maybe it was like equity with a token warrant or something. And also, I think on social media, they've got like some pretty big numbers. But yeah, there's like some pieces of the puzzle that are missing. And for me, it's a sideways thumb. I'm not sure if I would consider diving in. Maybe I can be persuaded, but I would definitely not consider investing into it right now at this point.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. You made a lot of good points there, and I definitely wouldn't just dive in and invest. But like, I am curious to learn more, and I think you'd probably want to learn more too. But that's totally fair take. I think you brought up another good point, which I think about constantly. Uh, Wouldn't you rather see an established company with revenue, reliably making money for a year, 2 years before they introduce the idea of having an asset or governance? Like, let's make sure that everything's running smoothly first before we invite the community to come in and start governing and making key decisions.
Yeah,
Obviously, we know why this happens because they want to raise that money first, and it wouldn't be very popular to raise money against the token and then wait 3 or 4 or 5 years to launch it. Nobody would be happy with that. So, what we end up getting is this awkward phase, this tie. It ties you over. You have a governance asset that doesn't really work. There's no ways to use it yet for a few years. So it's live, it's tradable, it's speculatable, but not usable. So it ends up presenting different problems, which is
yeah,
endlessly fascinating, but there's not really an elegant solution to fixing that. None that I've seen so far.
yeah. Well, I mean, to the Almanac team, we wish you the best of luck, and the great job outlining like the economic concepts here in the documentation. And yeah, not financial advice, obviously, but we wish you a very good token launch, and that's 10 minutes in the books for Almanac. Thank you again to all of our viewers for watching, and make sure you stick around. More content coming very soon. Thank you, y'all.
Ciao.
Ciao.